Hey, what's up, y'all? This is WFSO reaction. Like I said, I'm trying to do more wrestling content. Because mainly this channel was based off of at first, but now we got like variety of stuff that we talk about on here. So try to get back into some wrestling stuff. So I think it's Piana or something like that. I can't remember the name. So the video got I'm sorry, Cody Rhodes and what they saying, I guess the times he hold it the WWE Championship for a year, that it was not as good run or whatever. So I say it's a feeble excuse because a lot of people every time he comes to a city and stuff like that, everybody wants to meet him, everybody wants to see him, including myself. So mostly, I think if that's the case, this is BS, and I will explain through the course of this video, like why do I think some people over exaggerate on Cody's run of the title, that they're not happy with it because of such and such. So I will talk about that. So let's get to this video.
Welcome back to their hot takes, and the first one is about Cody, and it says Cody Rhodes was an awful champion, and I've seen this a lot, and there will be more in this video about Cody Rhodes in a negative way, but I don't think he was a bad champion at all.
Oh, okay.
Do I think that he had the greatest reign of all time? Absolutely.
Agreed. Okay, I just thought it was gonna be bad from him, but actually he said he think he was a good champion. So do I. So let's just go on.
Absolutely not. However, I do think he's had some great title matches and some good stories. I think the matches with Kevin Owens were a lot of fun. The same thing with AJ Styles. I think the whole Bloodline thing was a mess. But besides that, I think Cody Rhodes had a pretty good run. So I don't think he was an awful champion. I can agree with you, King House. The next one is about Chelsea Green. A guy named Ricky says Chelsea should still be the U.S. Women's Champ. She was doing great work, and I gotta agree with this one. I think Chelsea Green's character work is amazing. I think she should have held on to that belt just a little bit longer, maybe a few more months, just to really solidify.
Money in Bank is coming up next month. Maybe they have other plans for her, to be world champion, or be the WWE Women's Champion, which is currently held by Timothy Stratton. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe she'll cash it, the day of. You never know. But I think after she has a good U.S. title run, I think that she'll be destined to win Money in the Bank this year. So she'll be like my big chop choice for that. So that'll be something interesting. Well, go back to Cody Rhodes. Some people think he's a weak champion because there's some people that think any guys that's like a baby face gotta have like a badass personality. And that's not the case. You don't have to have that all the time. So the only thing you need to do is like make it interesting and make your feuds interesting and all that stuff. And I'm sorry, but I think Cody Rhodes did a good job. But there's these people that's like they expecting have an attitude of Stone Cold Steve Austin all the time, or the Rock attitude. Not all baby faces are built for that. But like I said, as long as they make the story interesting, you got me hooked. So that's like the bad thing about some fans, because they expect somebody always got to be a badass during their face run. I don't get that at all. I really don't. But I know some of y'all may agree with me and some of y'all don't. But yeah, you really gotta be happy with he finally got his title, WWE title, and before the whole year he hold it. I'm sorry, but it was pretty good. Some of y'all just need to relax. Not everybody's built to be like a badass. So moving on.
Solidify a great reign for her, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I think she might have a good chance of winning the Money in the Bank. We will see in the future. Noisy Boy says that Travis Scott being involved in John Cena's heel turn was actually good since it would have been too obvious without him. I just can't agree with this at all. I think Travis Scott being in this storyline at the heel turn as well as WrestleMania was a disaster. I don't think it was good at all. John Cena winning by himself would have been better without Travis Scott, in my opinion. Staying on the...
I do agree that, because they really didn't need Travis Scott. But maybe if Travis Scott and The Rock was out there, then yeah, but yeah, Cena probably would have won by himself, although he would have cheated to win, but Cena didn't need no outside help. But it is what it is.
On the topic of John Cena, Sam Jacobs says that 100 Super Cenas should beat one gorilla. There, I said it, LOL. And this has been a trend that's been going crazy on Twitter over the last few days. And 100 Super Cenas might have a strong chance against the one gorilla because that man was absolutely...
There's no such thing as kind of amazing.
Yeah. Sorry about these commercials, but
absolutely unstoppable. He was a dominant beast. So I would feel bad for the gorilla in this case because 100 Super Cenas might be tough to beat. B. Smith 806 says that Cody is not anywhere near the star that people say he is. And I will say that Cody is actually a bigger star than a lot of his haters would say. Cody was killing it when it came to the crowd sizes. Every arena would be sold out, and that was Cody as the top guy. Even when Roman was a part-time champion, Cody was one of the biggest acts in the WWE at the time, and he was carrying WWE. So I would say Cody is a pretty big star. If you think about it, he helped kickstart AEW, and then he basically revived WWE with Roman Reigns. So I would say Cody is a pretty big star.
Yes, he is.
4276 that Cody Rhodes' story should end with him going back to his natural position of being a jobber.
I don't know what's wrong with these fans. It's like, I know you can't please people, but some of these fans really need to chill. They really do. Like I said, you can't always have a badass babyface that hold every championship. I just don't get it. It's like these guys like stuck in the 90s and stuff. Yeah, and like I was raised on the in the 90s era of wrestling. But I'm not holding it up be like, all these baby faces gotta be, got some like bad guy stuff into them. It really doesn't make any sense, and I don't get some of these people. I really don't. It's like, if they think, that's entertainment, then they probably think, the biggest, baddest guy in the, planet, let's just say somebody had like world domination and they like a bad guy. They probably would like something stupid like that. I'm sorry, but some of these is just, don't make any sense. Like the same thing with the Cena thing. You hate Cena, then suddenly, when he comes back every now and then, y'all cheer for the guy. I'm like, what the heck? Are you serious? It's the same thing, with the heel turn, but, like I said, I'm a big Cena fan, but I'm not upset with the heel turn or anything like that. But I understand why they did it, try and make it interesting. But right now, his heel run is not believable. It's really not. And they still, go back to the chant, John Cena sucks and let's go Cena sucks and stuff like that. Whatever. I'm okay with that. I know in the past I wasn't okay with it because, I'm trying to fight for, this guy's good money making, although, he was chosen by Vince McMahon, but the people kind of chose him too, but so it's just some people. It'd be like, you have a wrestler that be your flavor of the month, then you just get bored with them. It's like some of these people just need like, maybe they have like ADD, like attention disorder or something. Or maybe what it is.
That is just messed up. Cody should not be a jobber. I don't think Cody Rhodes should be a jobber, but I really don't know what happens with him in the future. Does he have another redemption storyline? I hope not. I think we need to see heel Cody Rhodes cheat to beat John Cena or something of that nature. It would be epic. Imagine if this entire time The Rock used John Cena just to turn Cody heel, and then John Cena gets so upset, and then, we get The Rock turning on John Cena.
Nah, I don't think that. Uh-oh. Here comes the Pope. Sorry, but right now, they probably, while this recording, they got the new Pope out there, and okay, is he in his 50s or something like that? Okay, they got the new Pope, and he doesn't look like that but he's looked like the guy could be in his 50s. But even if he's in 60s and 70s, like, why? Why are they picking all these popes that's like, look like they about to die? That's what Mike was saying too, like they got all these popes that look like they on the verge of dying. It just make no sense. But, I don't know. Different subject, and whatever.
Cody aligns with The Rock. That would be a pretty good story if The Rock is committed, but I don't think he is.
Yeah, that would be something, like have Cody Rhodes go against The Rock. Maybe, next year's WrestleMania, or build up to that. That would be a good one. But I wouldn't, turn Cody, heel just like that right away. I don't think that would be working. So, because, a lot of times, Cody was a face, but like most of his WWE career before, he left, well, I might as well say, he asked for his release, then did things on his own. Like majority of his first run in WWE, he was a bad guy. So, why try to do that now? You know what I mean? Oh God, that guy looks like he's... Oh, the guy from the United States? They gotta get somebody that's younger, maybe like in their 40s or something like that. I know this is a different subject, but it is insane, and I don't know. Sorry, moving on.
J-Mac says that Gunther needs to leave the WWE. No, he...
What? Like I said, some of these people are not satisfied. They really ain't.
Does not. Gunther has done amazing, incredible things in the WWE. He had one of, if not the greatest IC championship run of all time. And then he had a pretty solid run with the World Heavyweight Championship. And now he's going to have a match with Pat McAfee, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. Gunther is great in the WWE.
And like I said, fans just can never be happy. They just can't.
WWE. Not Fade Away 522 says that Randy Orton is the greatest WWE wrestler of all time. No one compares in the combination of longevity, star power, promos, character work, and in-ring ability.
And that's probably the thing. That's what they expect from like these baby faces, be like a Randy Orton type person, or like a Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's just like I'm saying, the ones that have a like bad attitude and stuff like that. So everything else in this I agree with, but some people just gotta stop thinking like every single wrestler gotta have that type of character. It just doesn't make any sense. And if every single wrestler had like a bad attitude, face or heel, like all of them, it's going to be boring.
And I would would say that Randy Orton is up there as a top 10 WWE wrestler of all time, but he's not number one. In my opinion, that award goes to The Undertaker because he did have longevity. He wrestled for 30 years. He had even more star power than Randy. His promos were great. He had the best character work because I think The Undertaker is the greatest character. And his in-ring ability, clearly, he's got bangers in that ring. So I'm sorry, I gotta disagree, but I think Undertaker.
Top 10 for Randy Orton? Yeah. Top 10 for Undertaker? Yes. But not number one. Well, if y'all know me, it'll be, oh, he is from America. So they elected the first American Pope. That'd be interesting. That'd be cool. Sorry, just on the subject, so I apologize. So, but like I said, top 10, Undertaker, Randy Orton, yes. Not number one. Not either of them. I know, like, Undertaker, in my opinion, like, kind of dropped down a little bit because of his, his, the actual, person, Mark Calloway, got, like, different, political views, I should say. But he's not like parading and out there saying, this, and stuff like that. So, I'm sorry, but yeah, he just dropped for me a little bit.
Is the Ghost. Master Chief says that the Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania was better than the actual WrestleMania itself, and I gotta agree, and I think that's due to the fact that The Rock did not get involved, and this was just Triple H cooking. I really think The Rock is a problem. I will talk more about that in my next video. PGKD says that Austin Theory should join Paul Heyman's group. I totally 1000% agree.
I agree with that.
Exactly what Austin Theory needs. I think he's a superstar in the making. It just needs a new storyline, and this would be perfect for him. Josh Collins says that Bronson Reed.
Yeah, make him like separate himself from Grayson Waller. Because I think both guys would be good like individually. But then again, they don't have that many tag teams either. But then again, probably the storyline right now is probably like just have them on the verge, separate. We'll see. Bronson Reed is joining Seth Rollins next when he comes back. That I can see. Maybe give him a push because Braun Strowman made Bronson Reed look good, with their feud. So I don't see why not. And plus, they brung him back, although he was let go his first run. Then Triple H brought him back in second run, and I thought the second run was pretty great. But too bad he's not, didn't have a title. Maybe you can do him and Braun Breaker had like to get a tag title run. That'd be something.
Is joining Seth Rollins next when he comes back. That's an interesting one. I didn't think about that at all. Personally, I would not mind adding Bronson Reed into this group because just like Austin Theory, that would put Bronson Reed at a very, important spot where I think he could thrive and have some bangers and be like the bodyguard of the group. So I have no problem with this at all. Double O Flame says that Becky should join that new Paul Heyman faction as the fifth member.
Maybe.
I gotta disagree. I don't really want to see Becky Lynch in this. She doesn't really need to be in it at all either. I'd rather see a woman who's young, who's from NXT, maybe someone like Roxanne Perez joining this group, or even Julia, someone that actually needs it, who could become...
Yeah, I do agree. I'll be cool with it either way. If she does, join that group or she doesn't. She really doesn't need it. But I'll be cool with it either way. So she ended up, joining them, fine. If she doesn't, fine. But I think she's okay, by herself.
become a big thing in the future. Becky, like I said, she's already got star power. She does not need this group whatsoever.
Right.
The next hot take says that Chad Gable deserved the WrestleMania slot more than El Grande Americano, and I gotta agree with that.
Yeah.
That is messed up. The fact that Chad Gable has been in the WWE for over a decade and did not get that WrestleMania match over El Grande, that is just some messed up stuff. And for that, Triple H, I gotta say, you really messed up with that one.
I can tell when someone's lying. It's
Yeah, and the bad thing is, like, everybody knows that's
Are you?
Tell me that you didn't kill him.
WWE.
But that's the thing. Everybody know that Grande Americano is Chad Gable. Everybody knows that. I was just hoping that WrestleMania, Ray Phoenix would have took his mask off and exposed Chad Gable. But I don't know. They keep on going with this storyline, and I just feel bad for they putting Chad Gable in this situation. Like, really? We know it is him because of the storyline they was going for, like how Chad Gable can beat luchadors. So that was a given. I'm sorry. It just needed to have a short run. It really does. Drew McIntyre will be champ by the end of the year. And maybe Royal Rumble, but I don't know. That one, I don't know.
Guy stuff says that Drew McIntyre will be the champ by the end of the year. I really hope so. I don't know if this is the case, just because I think that Johnson is going to hold on to that belt until December, and I think that CM Punk might be the one who dethrones him. And then as for the World Heavyweight Championship, there's a chance that he could win the Money in the Bank again, but that would be kind of weird. But anyways, he could win it again, and actually this time successfully cash in.
I don't think him winning the Money in the Bank for the second time, and yeah, I don't think that he needs to be Money in the Bank again. No, it's got to be somebody new. Because we always say somebody new, but most of the time WWE will go what storyline would make sense. But I think with Triple H, he's gonna branch out somebody new to get the Money in the Bank. So, my opinion, it's possible that it'll be LA Knight. So that's a possibility. We'll see.
The next hot take says that if Finn Balor never got injured, he would be a top star in WWE today. I really don't think that's the case at all. I think if Finn really never got hurt, he would have a run with the belt for like 5 or 6 months until WrestleMania, and then just drop it to like Kevin Owens, and that's it. I don't think anything else would change. I know that a lot of people think that injury derailed his career and ruined his run at the top of the mountain. I don't think that's the case.
No, I don't think so either.
We will never actually know what would have happened with Finn Balor. Walter White says that we need a heel Rey versus face Dominic Mysterio match. I don't think so. I really don't want to see Rey Mysterio as a heel. Look at John Cena. Right now, his heel run isn't as good as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And Rey Mysterio is someone who I think would have an even worse run as a heel. I say let these two just have a reunion. Let them tag team against, I don't know, whoever they're feuding with at the time. I guess Finn Balor and Carlito or whoever screws them. Because I'm assuming Dominic Mysterio is going to get kicked out of Judgment Day. Sold out 3.
It's like I don't get that either. There are just some wrestlers that just meant to stay babyface for the rest of their life. Well, rest of their career, I'm just saying. Nobody needs to be heel turn or anything like that just for to please people. Yeah, I'm sorry, but Rey Mysterio gonna forever be a face. And boy, you seen all the work ethic that he puts in the ring? And like, he's not bad on the mic either. I just think that people should, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Rey is not gonna go heel. So be happy that, his son, end up going heel. And still is. And the most hated heel this decade so far. So hold on to that. Rey Mysterio will never be heel.
360 says that Dominic Mysterio is this generation's Stephanie McMahon. I really don't even know what to make of this hot take. I thought it was funny. I think they mean maybe the fact that he gets booed so much. I really don't know. You know, I'm just gonna say
no, because Stephanie McMahon, she was booed, but she wasn't booed as bad as Dominic Mysterio. So yeah, I don't see that. I don't know. Some of the things people come up with, so just insane.
Can't agree with this because I just can't comprehend what you're trying to say. Leo says that Survivor Series should not have war games this year. Last year's men's match had too many people getting injured. Aside,
I would like to see the traditional Survivor Series match again. So they could still do the war game for the men and the women and still do like 2 Survivor Series matches, like traditional matches. Like, I like the war games that they added on there, like a good concept. But then again, this year they're going to do it in the stadium, which has no roof. But then again, they done, WrestleManias when they did like those type of matches, and they just end up, being outside. So I don't know how would they work it with it's going to be like an outside stadium. So I think like most likely they will figure it out. So I think like seriously, they could do both. Have 2 traditional Survivor Series matches, then true the War Games match for each man and women. They can do that. Like this part is understandable if they don't have like a a title match or whatever, because they can do like a title match before Survivor Series or after Survivor Series. So if they can just do, because this one I can understand, why they have, 4 matches, because it seems like every PLE now since Triple H took over, they only do like 5 matches, except for when it comes to like the 2-day wrestling events. But they can still do the traditional Survivor Series and still do the War Games. It's just mainly that they just gotta really think about going back to traditional at times too.
aside from getting injured, I think the real problem with War Games is just that you're overdoing it. It's overexposed. I say bring it out when they really need it. It doesn't even have to be at Survivor Series, but even if you want to keep it there, actually keep it there if there's a storyline that needs it. Don't book around the War Games match. I think you got to have a solid feud and then book the match.
Yeah.
The next hot take
true.
says that Solo Sikoa is criminally underrated and unappreciated.
True.
I don't think that's the case. I think he's perfectly rated. Right now, Solo Sikoa should not be at the top of the card, and he's not at the bottom of the card either. He's kind of where he needs to be, because right now Solo just does not feel like a star. I say give him a few more years. Speaking of...
I wouldn't say a few more years. Give him a year, because, right now they can start, building him up more. Then again, maybe Jacob Fatu, go on his own, then, end up going against Solo Sikoa and get that feud going, and that can work out. So I'm just saying that, they may need to, maybe look at that if they really want to build, Solo Sikoa. Solo needs a new character and needs to bring back his indie wrestling style back. I don't know. Well, then again, I didn't know, his indie wrestling, I didn't see, his matches in the indies, because I know there was multiple times that he was in Wisconsin, and I just, at the time, just didn't get to see it. But, I don't know if he needs a new character. I just think he needs to, maybe, the top people pull him in the right direction and he can run with the ball. So, I just think, creative and stuff just need to point him set him up at the right direction.
Speaking of Solo, Dice King says that Solo needs a new character and needs to bring back his indie wrestling style back. The only reason he wrestled like that was because he's a babyface. So I do agree. I think maybe Solo needs to become a babyface, and he might be better off than just being this heel of the Bloodline group. Like, the Bloodline is done. We got to move on from it, end the group, and have these guys do their own thing. Ashton says Ilya needs a championship upon his return. He's so great in the ring. He's allergic to having a bad match. I agree. Give him the IC or United States Championship. Ilya Dragunov is a beast in that ring, and hopefully when he comes back, he does have some gold. Mighty 8 says, I swear most of these hot takes aren't hot takes. They kind of are, but some of them aren't. But anyways, I don't think a feud between Cena and Orton was as good as everyone thought it was. Nostalgia is one hell of a drug. I agree. I thought that feud was kind of mid. I think if you look back to 2007, that's when I liked the John Cena and Randy Orton feud. But the one in 2009 was kind of long. It went too long. They had too many matches, and I didn't really feel it too much, you know. So I will agree with this hot take. And Christopher said,
well, part of me kind of agrees, but the best match that these two had, both Orton and Cena, would have to be for the undisputed title. Like it was the end of the year. I don't know if it was Armageddon or something like that, but yeah, it was the end of the year that, you know, Randy Orton ended up having, you know, both the World Heavyweight title and the WWE title. So, but then again, I know they count that as a unification, but I think they should add that to one of Orton's titles. If they did, I don't know if they did. But yeah, probably add something like that will be but yeah, I thought, you know, that was the best one. Although, you know, Randy Orton won, but I thought that was I thought that match was like the best out of the rest of the matches that they had. Not saying all their matches is bad, but that's just that's why I just think that match was the best out of all of them. If Wade Barrett never got hurt, we will be having a different conversation about who's the greatest of this generation. Let me see what he says, and I'm going to put my 2 cents in.
If Wade Barrett never got hurt, we would be having a different conversation about who's the greatest of this generation. This is when you know you got to end the video, because there's no way somebody really thinks that Wade could be the greatest of his generation when you had CM Punk, John Cena, Randy Orton, all in that. We got to move on. Anyways, that is it for the
video. Oh, sorry. That was not planned. But anyways, I think Wade Barrett should have been world champion at least once. That part I can agree. Maybe he'll be like up there, you know, the top 10 of that decade, because he did have a good role going in, you know, with the Nexus and Solo and like his solo matches, and plus, you know, winning King of the Ring. It just sucks that, you know, they just didn't plan it to go anywhere. But then again, you know, that's Vince McMahon's old regime, and, you know, what more can you do? So that was a good outtake on everything, you know, like Piana gets, like, you know, questions from fans, and, you know, his response, and some of the things, you know, I need to respond to, because, you know, some of them was good, some of them was like, what are you thinking? But anyways, if you like this video, please give it a like. Comment if you want to comment about this. So, what do you think about your
Is the door downstairs unlocked?
Yeah.
Because Hazel's on her way back.
Oh, okay. That's probably what she was texting me about. Bob was doing the video.
Some old dude.
But the thing is, he's from America.
Some old dude. Give him another probably 10 years, he'll be out the door.
But sorry about that, guys. So comment below what you think about his takes. If you're interested in a lot of the stuff that he's talking about wrestling wise, subscribe to his channel, and also, you know, subscribe to my channel as well. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so hopefully we will get there. And like I said, we got some big plans for 2026, and probably do like some giveaways and stuff like that. So hopefully we can, you know, push that narrative to that point. Over 2,600 videos and counting for being on here for like 16 years. So, you know, very, you know, one of the longest reigning YouTube channels there is. Um, Also, check out the website wrestlingfanspeakout.weebly.com for updated stuff in the Midwest, videos like this, and photos that you see, where we meet wrestlers and meet like Bucks players, and also photos we took at like wrestling events. So you get a chance, check out the website. And also, thanks to our sponsors, Midwest Wrestling Collectibles. Check them out on Facebook. Facebook.com/Midwest Wrestling Collectibles. If you're interested in like some figures, DVDs, and stuff like that, you can go to them. And also thanks to our other sponsors, Mike and Robin Thompson, for this. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Until the next video, y'all have a good one.